Picture this. It's a Friday morning. You get to the desk. You just had 3 solid days in a row. The past couple of weeks have been pretty choppy. You haven't been perfect. Your strategy might not have been working great, but you kind of found your rhythm going into this week or as this week has progressed. And you wake up Friday morning, you slept 4 hours. Usually you sleep 7 to 8 hours. You slept 4 hours. You've been up. You got a headache. You had a fight with your significant other, a friend, or family member. Maybe you had issues with your dog, took him to the hospital. Maybe the dog had to go out. You're potty training a puppy. Maybe you've got a young kid, you got a newborn, and you're up and you're just kind of off, right? Things are not perfect. You're not dialed in on this Friday morning like the prior 3 or 4 days where you have been executing very, very well. The market opens. You're feeling pretty confident. You're feeling pretty good. You see a setup that you think looks pretty good. You see a key level that you like for a short. You enter the short. Setup wasn't really there, but you thought still, hey, this is a valid level. I'm going to take this trade. Immediately reverses on you. You get stopped out. It starts to kind of come back down a little bit. You get back in because you think, oh man, I just stopped me out. Now it's going to come back down and go for those lows. I'm going to get back in. You get back in, immediately reverses back up, stops you out. Try one more time, even though it's not to your system, to your setup, to your strategy, and you get stopped out again. That, my friends, is my example of this past week on how I went from being up about 3.5 R on the week to ending the week up only a half R and having a very large loss, max loss day of 3 R on Friday. And I think this could be very relatable to you in your own trading or your own example, whether it's this specific or whether it's kind of a generalization for maybe a bigger issue or something that you have seen happen to you, right? Where you're doing pretty good, and then all of a sudden, boom, something happens, something clicks, and you just lose it, right? Everything goes out the window, your strategy goes out the window, your risk management goes out the window, and you don't understand why you keep doing this month after month after month, no matter what. Now, it's a very real thing, and the actual answer that you may be seeking is not going to be maybe what you expect by the end of this video. But I would encourage you to watch this video because I really think that this is something that's not talked about very much, but it is the reality of losing in the markets, in trading, no matter what. And if you peel things back and take a step back and think social media, you're watching this on a social media platform, most likely, you don't really see anyone talk about this stuff. And I'm not going to sit here and say that no one talks about their losses and don't follow this person because they don't talk about their losses and that I'm better than everybody else because I show you the real losses and I don't care. That doesn't matter to me. But if people don't have these situations and they at least portray extremely high win rates, they're probably hiding something. Okay? And I could totally be hiding something myself. I could totally be faking my own shit, my own numbers, if I really wanted to. I could. And there's not a lot of ways to really know if I am. Really. I mean, like, you could show the broker, but people could fake that. They can edit stuff. You could show, what you think are your trade files, and you technically could edit those things too if you wanted to. Outside of statements, which again, on social media, right, things get posted, you could edit them as well, right? If you know what you're doing, you could do that, right? So that doesn't matter. It's irrelevant necessarily, but I think actually talking about it and explaining it, at least how I view it, might be relevant to you. Actually, I think it's very relevant to you, especially if you're still watching at this point in the video. So we obviously know that social media and reality are not the same. People who portray crazy high win rates, or they might not say, hey, I win 90% of the time, but they never seem to lose. They don't want to post the red because it sucks. It doesn't sell. Yes, I get it, right? It doesn't sell. Whether that's growing your following, whether that's selling a course, a Discord, a mentorship, whatever, right? It doesn't sell, okay? But back to the example that I was talking about, that was a real example for me. The fix is actually very simple, okay? Yet that's in the short term, and that's looking back. That's hindsight. The hindsight fix is very easy. The long-term fix is not so easy. It's actually a constant goal that you are pursuing that will never end. You will never get there. You will never get to the actual goal. And so let's talk about that. What's the goal? The goal is perfection. The goal is perfect risk management. The goal is 100% win rate. The goal is to come in, execute, get it, move on. That's the goal. But you'll never be perfect. You'll never have 100% win rate. I guess you can on a short-term time scale, right? But you zoom out, you won't have 100% win rate. No one will. You've probably taken losses as it is, which means, guess what? You already cannot have a 100% win rate for your entire life because you've already lost. It's already gone. And in the case of the fix, okay, the setup wasn't there. Like, it was a marginal setup. Well, guess what? We only take high probability setups because we know marginal setups that we look okay, but like technically there's like one more piece of criteria that we didn't meet, but like, oh, maybe we will just take it anyway because I think it's going to go down. What are you doing? You're playing into the I think, which you don't know shit in the markets. And that's fine. You don't need to know shit. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. As long as you can be right 50, 60% of the time, heck, even 48% of the time. That was actually my stats for this past week. I had a 48% win rate, and I still made money this past week. You can be right around half the time, have a little bit decent risk management, make $1.50 for every dollar you lose, make $1.25 for every dollar you lose, make $1.10 for every dollar you lose. You're going to be golden long term. Golden if you can be consistent with that. So if the fix is so simple, then why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? Because it goes deeper than that. This is something that I believe is an absolute unavoidable piece to trading. You are going to have bad days. You're going to come into the market mentally not sharp, mentally not there for whatever reason, and that reason can change and will change. It's not going to present itself the exact same way. Maybe you get a half hour sleep one night. Maybe you had a fight. Maybe your dog is sick. Maybe your friend is in the hospital. Like, these are all different ways, different things that can take a toll on the mental, which could keep you or put you slightly off your game, maybe very off your game when it comes to market. And there's not really a way to know exactly how bad it's going to be until the day's over, right? At the end of the day, you don't know how stupid you're going to be or how dumb you're going to be until you take the trades, the day's over, you come back, you log it, and you look at it all and go, holy shit, I don't know what I was doing today. Like, that's the reality. But what is the most important piece is that you are learning about yourself. It's not about the market. You're not learning more about the market. You are learning more about yourself. Once you have a strategy down that you feel pretty confident about, that you can execute properly, that you've got some decent back-tested data off of, right? You just trade the strategy. You don't have to worry about changing your strategy, adapting to the markets, and this and that. You just have to worry about you. When you realize or you start checking boxes that puts you in a higher probability of fucking up versus being dialed in on your game, that's when you have to understand that and rein it in. And you're not going to always rein it in. And when you start, you're going to have absolutely no control over the reins at all. And you're going to blow accounts. You're going to lose a lot of money. Maybe you're not going to blow accounts. Maybe you're not. But most people probably will. Me in the past would have 100% lost a lot more money on that day. But I somehow had some backstops in place to where I had a max loss day, but I didn't give back the entire week's worth of gains. And that's a backstop that I have put in place over time because I have learned from past experiences like this, where I've lost a heck of a lot more. In the future, yeah, the obvious answer is not trade. But maybe I still do. And I say in a month from now, the same thing happens or a similar situation happens. And I'm like, hey, I'm not mentally totally there. You know, there's this thing going on in my personal life. I got this thing coming up tomorrow. I'm worried about it. I'm mentally kind of thinking ahead. I'm not focused right now on the present. And I know that. Great. Take a trade today. Doesn't work. You have a loss. You lose 1 R. Stop loss hits. You say, you know what? that trade was a good idea. It made sense. It just didn't work. Market's not aligning with my strategy today. I'm going to walk away. I'm not going to fight this. And instead of losing 3R, I lost 1. And so that, if that makes sense, like that's the progression. It's not, the progression is not that you're going to avoid this. That's the progression. And the next level to that is you walk in, you say, you know what? I don't feel good. I'm not going to trade today. I'm going to walk away. And you never take a trade. And you go break even. You might look back at the end of the day and go, oh my gosh, all these different setups, this and that, but there's no way to know if you would have executed that properly, right? In the moment. There's no way to know. You cannot think that way. And so in doing this, you're going to, again, it's a form of risk management. You're going to be protecting your backside while making sure that when you are feeling good, when you're dialed in, right, your upside is ideally uncapped. Like there's no cap to that. There's no cap to how many days in a month you're going to feel great. And you're going to be dialed in, you're going to be focused. But if you can cap when you are not on your game, when there's something off, when things are not working properly and you're starting to get in your head, you can cap that, you're going to dramatically decrease the amount of big losses and blow-ups that you're going to experience. And I think that's the game. That's the end game. The end game is the pursuit of perfection, fully knowing you will never get there, but you're going to get a little bit closer and a little bit closer and a little bit closer the longer and the more that you put in and the more that you have these backstops in place and learn about yourself and how you react and how you handle certain things that have nothing to do with trading. Hopefully, this made some sense. This is a topic that I think I would like to expand upon in the future, but I had a perfect example in this past week that I wanted to share, and I hope this was helpful in some way. Thanks so much for watching. I'll leave any links, resources, trading journal stuff down below if you want to check it out. Use what I use to track all your goodness, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.